Hello, my name is Ashley Hamilton, and I'm an assistant professor of theater here at the University of Denver. And I've been working with the Daniels College of Business in a couple of different capacities, teaching workshops on improv and creativity with the executive education program. In addition to that, in the past, I've taught communications classes and public speaking classes to business students as a way to support their education. It's interesting because I was raised in a family of business folks, and for a really long time I thought that our worlds were separate, that there was the business world and people who have business minds, and then there are folks like me who study theater and do more artistic practices, and I saw us as two very different sort of groups of people. And I've come to realize through teaching business students the power that creativity can have in all different sectors and facets of work life. Because at the end of the day, being a creative person, we're all creative. One of the questions that I asked in our workshop was, how does creativity show up in your life? And when you really think about that, who's to say that cooking a beautiful meal or playing with your children or trying to find something to talk to a family member about, right? That's all creative. It's just a little bit different than how we traditionally think of like the arts. Realizing that creativity can show up in all facets of our lives, and not just thinking of ourselves as sort of like, well, I'm a business person or I'm a numbers person, so I'm inherently not creative. But rather, creativity can be in business plans, of course, right? Having to be present, having to be thinking outside of the box, having to think of new models and new ways of doing things. And more than anything, feeling like you're able to be spontaneous is what's going to allow ideas to flow. I think we also think of very specific fields as being creative. Maybe people in marketing or PR are more creative, but the people with numbers, no. So I think realizing that it's not just about your work tasks being creative, it's the way you're coming at your work. Improv for me, for most of my life, has been terrifying. And I've been doing theater since I was like 3. That's why I think it's a good practice, right? Because it puts you sort of in the most present space and asks you, a lot of times people think that they're gonna freeze up and they're gonna get scared. But rather, I think what improv is really about is about being in relationship, honestly. So I think if we think about creativity or improvisation or theater and how that translates to being a good manager, I think it's about saying yes, right? So supporting and then building on. So we say yes and then we build on. The theater is built on collaboration. In theater, you do nothing alone. We work there's so many different facets and hats that are worn in the theater. And to do one production involves, can be dozens of people sometimes. And there's a practice that we have of learning how to collaborate well very early, and I think that translates straight to the business world. How are you a strong collaborator? I'm also, in addition to being an artist and a creative person, I'm an academic, and so I spend a lot of time in my head and in sort of my mind space, because that is what's necessary at points for my job. And I imagine folks in the business world have to do that too, right? And so we have a practice in the theater of dropping into our bodies. So what that means is not forgetting that you have a body, which a lot of people do, right? So we do a lot of work around, even if it's just taking a moment. This is a very simple exercise you can do at your desk, right? Just sitting, putting your feet on the ground, putting your hands on your lap, closing your eyes and just scanning from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet and really noticing each part of your body. That's inherently going to make you more present. You're going to drop into your body, you're going to become more present, and when you are in your body, you're not just operating from a brain space, you're operating from other parts of yourself. I think we all as humans know when we feel connected And we know when we're feeling sort of like we're doing what we're meant to be doing. And we also really know when we're not doing that. We feel burnt out, we feel exhausted, we feel frustrated, irritated, right? And for me, I think that when I'm feeling my most creative, I feel like I'm in a flow. And I find that not only am I able to flow like energetically in terms of like I have energy and I'm feeling inspired, but also things around me tend to start flowing. For me, the creative process always comes back to the other and working well with others. And when I feel like other people are feeling seen and heard and validated through my work, it reflects right back to me.